increasing incidence of dog attacks. The Kerala government is now going to be seeking permission from the Supreme Court to cull stray dogs to deal with the menace, which has till date claimed over 20 lives in the state in the last 1 year. More than 1 lakh people in the state in the last 1 year have been bitten by stray dogs. The issue, however, is not limited to Kerala. In recent weeks, we have seen some shocking incidents of dog attacks on unsuspecting people that have been reported from across the country. In many cases, the attacks have been by pet dogs. So we are talking about 2 separate issues here. First is Kerala dealing with stray dogs, and then there is urban India dealing with pet dogs and increasing incidents of pet dogs biting neighbors, biting strangers. Take a look at this. In Ghaziabad, a child was bitten by a pet dog inside the lift of the housing society. A similar incident taking place in Noida, where a man was attacked inside a lift by a pet dog, after which the boy who was with the dog had to drag it away. Another set of pictures, and this really was shocking. These came in today and is going viral. In Panvel, which is a city near Mumbai, a Zomato delivery executive was bitten in his private parts by a pet dog, leaving him absolutely bleeding. You see the pictures. These are horrifying. With these incidents happening in quick succession, a long-standing tussle has come to a head. Housing societies in cities have always had raging disagreements, as you know, over pets, where they should be allowed and how pet owners should behave on common property. So as that debate goes on, we today are going to limit our focus to what is happening in Kerala. The nature of the crisis in Kerala, as I've already spoken about, is completely different. This year, 21 people have lost their lives because of dog bites in the state. Over 1 lakh people have suffered stray dog bites in the state. Out of those who have died, out of the 21 who have died, there have been children, and 5 of them had actually received an anti-rabies vaccine. That raises the concern over the mass vaccination drive that has been announced by the Kerala government from September 20th. Now, there are numerous instances of stray dogs attacking people and biting them in the state. In fact, just take a look at the pictures you have, and you'll see them one by one. In Kozhikode district, there is a boy who's riding his bicycle. He's attacked by a stray dog right outside his house. Was there any provocation? That's not the video. That's the video we are talking about. There was no provocation in this case. This was just an attack. A random attack. Another incident in Kannur was caught on camera. This is where stray dogs were seen chasing kids. There you have it. Now, the top court, which is the Supreme Court, has earlier observed that those who are feeding strays should be held accountable for the dog bites and the violence of these dogs. Now, why are we seeing these increased dog bites, not just in Kerala, but across urban India? First, let me go to Shweta, my colleague, who is joining us from Panvel. She's joining us from the same society. We are just going to put those pictures out of the Zomato delivery guy who was attacked. These pictures are from Ghaziabad. This is the building where Shweta is reporting from. Shweta, we are seeing the pictures of the Zomato delivery guy who was attacked. What are building authorities saying? Because this pet dog obviously belonged to one of the owners of the flat here. What are they saying in their defense, if anything at all?
Well, absolutely, Shreya. In fact, I'm showing you the visuals from the Indiable Society, and here is the basement area. In fact, the video which went viral, that was indeed a horrific one, where we are seeing the Zomato guy crying out of sheer pain after the dog bite. It was a German Shepherd dog, and the visuals, all we know is about the lift area, and it belongs to the Marigold Housing Society, and the visuals are from the Panvel, from the exactly same society, where the incident, in fact, took place on 29th of August, and it ran viral for, of course, various reasons. But firstly, it has to be seen that the attack was done by a pet dog, and this is raising the concern. In fact, the kind of dog bite is happening on a daily basis, in fact, and here it's been seen that the pet dog are one of the main section of the dog. It's not about stray dogs and all. Now, let me quickly show you this side of the area as well. In fact, the basement area is quite huge here. When the delivery guy parked his vehicle here, he went inside, and later on in the lift, the unfortunate incident took place, and the dog bite was a major one, where the guy, in fact, started bleeding very badly, and after which he was taken to Kamote Government Hospital to MGM. Later later he was shifted to DY Patil Hospital where he got treated. But remember, the injury was so severe that he had to stitch his crotch area as well as he was given the rabies injection. Now this is very concerning as in such plush societies, Shreya, we have seen so many people owning dogs, so many people taking their dogs out, but the kind of dog attacks are increasing day by day is also putting up a question ahead whether
have you managed to speak to anyone in the society? Shweta, I'm interrupting you here. Has the society said anything about whether they are taking steps to, try and ensure that such instances don't happen?
Well, Shreya, let me quickly show you the visuals and make you understand that here I could hardly find anyone. In fact, I was with my team searching for the security guard who helped the delivery boy, but unfortunately I couldn't find him. But yes, there will be a strict action also taken. A short while from now, I'll be getting in touch with the security guards as well as the management of the
All right, Shweta. So we'll come back to you then. Thank you very much for joining us. We are shifting our focus back to Kerala, and my guests are joining me this evening. Advocate C.V. Pramod is a leader of the CPIM representing the government today. Rahul Easwar is an activist, and Kevin Mathews is a political analyst. First things first, Mr. C.P. Pramod, I want to ask you, there are many people... Okay, we'll try and go across to Mr. C.P. Pramod in just a bit. I believe we are having some technical issues here on Mirror Now today. We'll try and fix that in just a bit. Rahul Easwar, I was trying to get C.V. Pramod in to try and explain to our viewers why we are seeing a dog menace, a stray dog menace in Kerala. There are some 280,000 strays in the state, and they are growing about 20% every year. Now, one of the things that the government wants to do is to go to the Supreme Court and say, we need permission to start culling these dogs. But is that the humane way to deal with this problem? Of course, there's a problem. No one is denying that. But is culling dogs the only way to do it?
Love animals, we respect animal diversity, and we are a culture which celebrates animals also as divine beings. At the same point of time, when right now it's becoming an epic problem that Kerala society is facing. For example, personally in our own housing society, I have stopped going for morning walks because there are too many dogs. I have a 5-year-old kid, so we are always afraid whether some dog will come. So this dog menace, as you rightly said, some statistics even put it around 3 lakh or 3 lakh plus stray dogs in Kerala, which is a very serious problem who are increasing number radically. And nobody wants to have some kind of a mass slaughter of dogs, but selective culling of the dogs and reducing the population, maybe having a rehabilitation space or maybe sending it to someplace else is absolutely needed. Otherwise, they are becoming a menace for ordinary people, especially the poor strata of society who cannot afford the luxuries of cars and all are facing it more. Even recently, there was a two-wheeler. I know so 2 or 3 two-wheelers went down because there was a dog attack. These dogs were scaring these people. So it's a very serious issue. We need some kind of a remedy. It cannot be a usual thing saying that dog can also coexist. Yes, nobody is against coexisting, but when human beings are at risk, it is up to us that we take some concrete action so that there can be some results.
The situation that Kerala is facing is exactly the one they had faced in 2016, I remember. And I do remember back then you had vigilante groups with air guns going around killing stray dogs. That's not a situation you want to get to, because people on the streets of Kerala are fairly angry. When you have unprovoked attacks on children, on the elderly, it seems the only way is the harsh way out. Culling, it seems, is the only way to at least reduce the population of stray dogs so that the ones that are left, well, they can be regulated in a sense. They can be vaccinated. I don't know what else you can do with them.
I think the question is to Mr. Kevin.
Yes, the question is to Mr. Kevin. Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, the dogs are there, and this is a serious menace. I can agree, and we have to take a lot of steps to avoid this because human life is important, and that is of paramount importance because life is definitely of paramount importance. But then I think one point we are missing out here is why policies and why are these happening? Why is there? We should ask those questions need to be asked because there needs to be why there is an issue of such attacks. As policy, there are certain other issues that needs to be looked at because hotel waste being thrown away in the street. So a lack of proper waste disposal system is said to be one of the reasons for an increase in dogs getting violent. So that we should actually look at the cause and identify the cause and treat the cause rather than. So you need to sterilize the dogs. Okay, street dogs should be sterilized. The government can work with various. There are various organizations like Has India, Humane Society, which adopt strays. So the government and these organizations can work together to control this menace on one side, but we should also at the same time, because otherwise we don't do that now. 5 years down, the cycle will repeat itself. So that is one thing where we should all collectively look at and identify and try and solve.
You're saying that, one of the reasons why you are seeing, we have just, by the way, opened up our phone lines and our telephone number is flashing on your screen. So as soon as we have callers, we'll put them out live as well to just hear what people in Kerala...
Mr. Kevin, one question to you.
Yeah, just a minute. Let me just put out our numbers. And, because we want our viewers to call in on that as well, 022-6754-9546. I'm just going to repeat that for you, 022-6754-9546. This is an issue that touches every citizen, and the jury will be divided over whether the only way out is culling stray dogs. We want to hear from you, so in case you have a view, do call us. Yes, go ahead, Rahul Easwar, you have a question for Kevin Mathews.
See, Mr. Kevin, I respect you as an intellectual and an animal lover. No, I respect. But at the same point of time, you people don't understand the plight of ordinary citizens. See, the real issue is we can have intellectual analysis, hair splitting analysis. You can find the root cause. But when children are getting bitten like this, when people are having such issues, see, normally people do provoke. See, nobody supports vigilante group. But last time it happened because so many people, especially even children of the lesser age, were bitten, and unfortunately, one girl died in that kind of a dog attack. So people will naturally get provoked. How long can we suffer this? Yes, please go for all your intellectual analysis, animal love, all the other things. There are many people like Bobby Chamanur who are trying to facilitate better facilities for dog. But do something is very important. And whenever people come up with some kind of reaction, animal lovers and intellectuals or left liberals like Kevin will come and say that we should love dogs. No, it's okay to love, but when our own life is at threat, you can force us to love.
Let's quickly get in a caller before I continue this discussion, and I have some questions for Kevin as well. I just hope that we manage to get a voice from the CPIM. Advocate CP Pramod, I believe his link is still not through with us. We'll try and connect with him. Meanwhile, Jayanti is calling us from Madurai. Jayanti ji, please go ahead. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So I'm a dog lover and I'm a pet lover, and I'm feeding the street dogs for almost 30 years now, and not in the single city. And I used to shift in some of the cities and various places. And I tell you very frankly, honestly, I never ever met a rogue dog in the streets. Even today, I used to feed some 10-20 dogs a year in Madurai and sometimes in Chennai, and wherever I go, I keep biscuits and snacks and breads and all that. So in my own experience, no street dogs go rogue or go behind the people, or they do harm the humans.
Okay.
That is except that somebody harmed them, or like pelting stones. And
but Jayanti ji, I appreciate your sentiment, and I appreciate the fact that you feed stray dogs. But the fact is that the pictures that are coming to us from Kerala are very clear. In most pictures that we have seen over the last 1 or 2 months, it's very clear that there has been no provocation. Stray dogs have just come and attacked. Just take a look at that picture, for example, that is playing out. So there has been no provocation here. Clearly, I mean, what else can I say except that, dogs in Madurai and Chennai may be better behaved than those in Kerala. But the fact that dogs will attack only after provocation doesn't seem to be true in Kerala. Mathews, would you want to come in here? Yes. You're smiling.
Oh, no. I was like just smiling at the joke you made. And it's a serious issue, and I concede, but then yeah, true. There is no point in keeping our eyes closed and saying that the world is blind. There are issues, this is a menace, and conceding that, and this should be addressed. And as Rahul said, my heart goes out to those people and the families of people who have died and the people who have been bit. See, I empathize with them, but my only submission here is that while we do that, our focus should be on, as a society, our focus should be on identifying the right cause and finding the right solutions rather than taking emotional decisions.
Yeah, just one submission, ma'am. Yeah. There has been people in Kerala like Kevin Mathews or Ranjini Heridas, who's a very celebrity kind of anchor, or Mridula, who has been coming up with this argument for the dogs. We understand the spirit of the argument, but the ground reality is different. The
Correct.
ground reality is the dogs are increasing. It's something like a menace. It's really happening, and I thank Mirror now for highlighting it at the national level. This absolutely unprovoked attack. See, those who have dogs may have some sentimental side for them, but more people who are normal people who are absolutely not wanting to harm any dog or any animal, they are facing this. I mean, I have a huge respect for Maneka Gandhiji, but people like Maneka Gandhiji unfortunately don't understand the ground sentiments and realize that there is a huge problem. And these people, especially senior citizens, especially younger people, especially people from poorer background who cannot afford a vehicle, who cannot afford four-wheelers, who are how to either go on two-wheelers or on walking, they are literally trembling with fear. Many people are carrying sticks in their hand. Please remember, Kerala only has a population of 3 crore or 3.5 crores of human beings. When you are having around 3 lakh such stray dogs, just see the proportion itself. So it is going to be a really huge issue, and 1% of human entire population, if you can count and juxtapose, it is these kind of stray dogs. So it's a very serious issue. I hope Supreme Court will pay attention to these. The prayers of the ordinary people. We don't understand in-depth concepts of loftiness, respect. But please find a solution. Would be my humble.
And out of the 21, what's also worrying is that out of the 21 people who have died in Kerala, 5 were actually vaccinated. So was
Correct.
this vaccine working or not? And I have statistics on how much the Kerala government has spent on vaccines, and they are again talking about vaccination, etc. I'll read out those figures for our viewers, but R. Suresh is on the phone line with us from Nagpur. Mr. Suresh, please go ahead.
One thing I want to tell you, from the recent reports, we find that there is a question mark on the quality of vaccination. I believe that Kerala CM has written to the Health Ministry, Central Health Ministry, about the quality of vaccines itself. And in our flat scheme in Nagpur, we have got a peculiar problem. People keep feeding stray animals, and they come and create all sorts of nuisance here. And in fact, we request them to keep the pets within the confines of their homes, which they don't do. And one more report, what I read is that people keep feeding the stray dogs with things like biscuits and other things, And as per a veterinary expert, this type of food items, they upset the digestive system of the pets. Okay. And it sort of instigates a violent behavior in them. Okay. So
actually, Mr. Rajesh, I would argue the other way. Matthew, if you want to come in here, I would argue the other way around. I mean, if you have dogs who are being pet by humans, the last thing they should want to do is attack humans. But that is if feeding stray dogs is the issue and is the cause of the problem, then logically speaking, Matthew, that shouldn't be happening.
No, ma'am. There are two sides to it. I don't think feeding biscuits to dogs are inciting that. But when dogs are being fed raw meat and other hotel waste and stuff like that, even that is there are studies that indicate that instigates such a reaction from pet dogs. So that such things have to be checked. But apart from that, see, a couple of things. One, all of us has to be responsible. So now we are looking at, even we have seen from the videos, we have even pet dogs actually, involved in such incidents. So that is where one thing, we have to be responsible for our pets, and we have to be responsible. And when one thing I completely agree with my friend Rahul here is that yes, this is a menace and this should be checked. When you look at the numbers, 1% of the number of stray dogs is almost 1% of the human population.
Yeah.
So this has to be checked, and you need to sterilize these the dogs that are on the streets. They have to be rehabilitated.
But look
to
at
say
the
the least.
numbers you're talking about. It's of course, who wants to kill another being, human or otherwise? No one does. But does the Kerala government really have a choice? I know that there are animal lovers who have gone to the Supreme Court and said no culling. But does the Kerala government really have a choice given the numbers they are talking about? 3 lakh of them as we speak, and there are 9 lakh pet dogs in Kerala. Two more callers coming in, and then I'm going to get in MB Rajesh to talk to us about what the government is planning to do. We have Divakar who's calling us from Chennai. Divakar, please go ahead. Divakar, can you hear me? Okay, let's go to Prachiti who's calling us from Mumbai. Prachiti, please go ahead if you can hear us.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, good evening. Please go ahead.
Hello, ma'am. I also used to feed the stray dogs, so don't spread this fear that they attack people, and they do it only if they are provoked. Like, not all stray dogs attack.
Then how do you, Prachiti, since you're more familiar with dog behavior than most of us are, help us understand why we are seeing what is happening in Kerala, for example. You're calling us from Mumbai, where we have seen pictures of a Zomato delivery boy being attacked in a high-rise society in a lift. It shouldn't have happened. It has happened. He's in hospital right now. That attack was unprovoked. In Kerala, we are seeing stray dogs attack people completely unprovoked. Those are the pictures we are getting. So, Prachiti, we are not spreading fear here, but it's our job to put things the way they are on television. And what we have seen so far is that, well, the attacks are unprovoked. How do you explain it, Prachiti?
No, all stray dogs don't attack. Because of the pet dogs, pet foreign dogs, the stray dogs are getting, they always get the blame. The solution for this is only vaccinate them and control their population. Killing is not a solution. It's against the law also, and it's against humanity also.
I agree it's against humanity. Completely agreed that it is against humanity.
Basically, vaccinate them and control their population, sterilize them. And we can educate the children, like don't go next to a dog and all.
Okay.
Proper education and awareness.
But that's unfair. But that's unfair. The streets are there for our children to walk. The parks are there for our children to walk. The lifts are there so that people can, take the lift and go. It's unfair. That's an unfair advice. Prachiti, we leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. I'm going to get in MB Rajesh, but Thomas is calling us from Bangalore as well, I believe. Thomas, please go ahead.
Good evening. I'm Thomas here from Bangalore.
Yes, sir.
I see the news every day morning. It is really painful. We make a hue and cry when somebody tries to hit a dog or kill a dog. But nobody makes a hue and cry when a child dies. Your 11-year-old child, 9-year-old child bitten, okay, and they die after getting treatment. Something is wrong somewhere. All this thing was started by Maneka Gandhi. Am I correct? No animal should be killed, nothing. Now what is happening? People are dying. Who is precious? Is a child precious or is a dog precious? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm hearing you.
Yeah. Because dog is secondary, because a lot of stray dogs are there. Government is not doing any efforts to control this. So it is better, if I am not cruel in this way, I too love dogs, but people who talk great about dogs, they all go by car. So no dog will bite them. People like Maneka Gandhi, she has escort. Okay, she goes with police protection. No dog will bite her. Unless you get bitten, unless you go through the pain and agony of a rabies patient, then only you will understand. Have you seen the death of a rabies patient? I have seen with my eyes. I have seen with my own eyes. It is really painful. But what is the action taken by government? No, everybody is there to protect. No, you should not harm the dog. Children go on the road, they can't walk. Elderly people can't walk. Who will walk on the road? Only dogs will rule the streets? Are they going to rule the streets? No. But we have to put an end to this. Any number of debates. Lot of dog lovers will be there. No, I am feeding for 30 years. Somebody was saying, I heard. What are you doing? Feeding for what? Get rid of these dogs. Or let there be a licensing system. Even a street dog should have license. Somebody should be held responsible.
Okay.
Am I correct?
I would say the government should be held responsible. Why did they let the population grow to an extent where you have street dogs that are attacking, feel confident enough to attack humans? Thank you, Mr. Thomas. That's a question I'm going to be putting to Sebastian Paul, who's the spokesperson of the CPIM. Mr. Paul, thank you very much. You're joining us on the phone line. We have seen the statistics. We've seen the pictures. We understand that the Kerala government has a plan ready to deal with these stray dogs. The question is that the population of stray dogs in Kerala rose from 1 lakh to 2 lakh to 3 lakh under your watch. Why was it allowed to happen? The problem is, has reached a level where you're talking about culling dogs and going to the Supreme Court to ask permission. Would you say the mistake has been on your part as well, the government's part as well?
Well, when something is happening, something unfortunate and painful is happening, people will clamor for culling dogs or culling some other animals. But it may not be proper on the part of the government to engage in such a large-scale exercise. Now this menace has grown to such an extent that we cannot freely go outside. Even inside the house, the stray dogs are entering the houses and attacking people. Now that it has become an uncontrollable menace, and for that the government has the other day announced an action plan to address the issue, and the government is now approaching the Supreme Court for permission to cull rabies-affected and violent dogs. All those things are on a war footing, emergency level. The things are being done. But it is a moot point to ask. It is a relevant question to ask why you permit all these dogs to increase in number.
Correct.
But then there are so many factors are there. A civilized society cannot engage in such an activity of mass extermination of dogs or animals, other animals. We have our own laws here. Our own controls and restraints are here, and within that parameters, our government is trying to address the situation in a very urgent manner.
Sir, I appreciate, while Mr. Paul, I appreciate the problem that you and the government are facing right now. There is something called the animal birth control centers. You're supposed to have them in every block. And it's only now, I believe, that the Kerala government is looking at setting them up in the 152 blocks in the state. Currently, there are only 37 centers in place. Now, the situation is out of hand, and that is when you're proposing a solution. We've gone to a place where, there seems to be no choice but to cull the animals. 3 years ago, possibly, if, the government had acted on time, if the government had decided to sterilize stray dogs at a mass level, we wouldn't be at a situation where we are discussing something, as cruel as culling dogs, sir.
The ABC program is animal birth control, vaccination, and all those things are there. But it is true to say, or I'm not to admit that those programs were not very much effectively done or executed in the state. But now the government, as well as the people, they are aware of the situation, and things are being done with the participation of this Kudumbashree and all those things and the local bodies to effectively control the population or the increase of these stray dogs from the streets.
Admission by you, sir, and I really appreciate that, Mr. Sebastian, that, being part of the government, being the official spokesperson, you are saying that the Kerala government has faltered on this as well. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that you are taking blame for what has happened. We are also hearing from MB Rajesh, who's the Kerala minister in charge. Let's quickly listen into what he's telling our reporter.
Yeah. We have with us Minister MB Rajesh, the Minister for Local Self-Government. Sir, now that this issue of dog menace, especially stray dog menace, has become a major issue in Kerala, sir, what are the steps that's been taken, what the government is planning to take as far as this issue is concerned?
The government had already taken a decision to counter this, to tackle this menace. Government had issued an order explaining the details through which this can be tackled. Yesterday we had a high-level meeting of officials and we have decided to go for a massive vaccination drive of stray dogs. And this massive vaccination drive will start from 20th September, and within 1 month we hope to vaccinate all stray dogs. Secondly, we have decided to intensify the process of sterilization of stray dogs. And thirdly, we have decided to open shelters for stray dogs. And LSGIs have been given responsibility, and this work will be coordinated and monitored by district administration.
So also the Supreme Court that you've decided to seek.
Okay, that was MB Rajesh who was speaking to our reporter there, telling us what the Kerala government is now planning to do. Rahul Easwar, you have interestingly heard Sebastian Paul as well, actually admitting that yes, to some extent, to a large extent actually, it was the government at fault. If three years ago they had acted on the growing number of stray dogs, probably we would not be in a situation where we are talking about culling them.
In fact, a person like Sebastian Paul, who's a very senior intellectual author, a former MP, to accept, yes, it is beyond politics. Right now, the governments, the civil society, we all will have to shoulder the blame. And, we could have, we want to have a concrete action. We should raise our voice louder. Even I would request animal lovers to come forward. Because if this goes on, there will create a situation in people's mind where there will be hatred for animals, especially dogs will come. So there is no hatred is not good against any human beings or even dogs. So this kind of hatred towards dog or dog phobia should not be in our society. That's the reason why we need immediate steps. And we respect the statesmanly attitude of people like Sebastian Paul or MP Rajesh, who is a very efficient minister. But immediate action should be taken. Otherwise, people will take law into their own hands, and that's not going to be a good situation.
And it happened in 2016, and the Supreme Court had to intervene when it happened in 2016, when you had vigilante groups coming in with air guns.
Right now it is happening just 10 minutes ago in Kottayam. Just 10 minutes ago, I was just reading through the Malayalam news. It is some kind of a breaking that some people have taken a dog and put it on the pole post by killing it. Some kind of a public exhibition of anger. So these things should not be encouraged.
Exactly what needs to be discouraged, which is why the government needs to step in and start doing something on an urgent basis. Because if there are 2 more dog bites, 3 more dog bites, if another person, dies, God knows where citizen anger is going to go. We'll leave it there for the moment. I'm going to thank all of you for joining us on the broadcast. Thank you very much for weighing in with your views. The Kerala government has a serious problem at hand approaching the Supreme Court now for culling of dogs. But is that something that is is there no other way? Because this is not the humane way to deal with the issue. That is a question that will now be debated in the Supreme Court.